If you felt stuck trying to lose weight, you're not alone. Enter Weight Loss by Hers. It's designed to support you in reaching your goals. And Hers now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill and the Wegovy pen. With Wegovy at Hers, lose up to 20% or more of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite, eat less, and keep weight off. Plus, Wegovy is the first GLP-1 available in a pill, so there are no needles needed. Everything is 100% online through Hers. You'll connect with a licensed provider who will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. And it doesn't stop there. Weight Loss by Hers goes beyond medication by offering access to 24/7 messaging with your care team and tons of in-app lifestyle and nutrition tips like recipes, meal plans, fitness videos, sleep content, and more. Even better, with a range of affordable GLP-1 options, Hers makes it simple to find an approach that fits your needs and your budget if eligible. You'll get a treatment plan personalized to you and unlimited dosage changes as needed. It's weight loss designed to work with your life. Ready to reach your goals? Visit forhers.com/women to get personalized, affordable care that gets you. That's forhers.com/women. forhers.com/women. Weight Loss by Hers is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk A/S. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit forhers.com.
Oh, cats.
Oh, cats. She's so cute.
Oh, cats.
Turns out she's been like doing this thing where she just like bites me out of nowhere, which is so rude. But I was like, what the heck? Like, and she's doing it right now. I'm like, why is she doing that? You know?
Because cats.
Because cats. Well, I looked it up.
This is what cats do.
Turns out she really thinks I'm her mom. If you're your kitten's constant companion when they're a baby, they just treat you like they would treat their mom. So you know how like little kittens will like, they try to play with their mom by like biting them and their mom's like, no, like bats them away or like picks them up, you know, moves them or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just ignores it. She's just treating me like I'm her mom.
Seven is 6 months. Holy crap, dude. Thank you so much.
Whoa.
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 Whoa. We're halfway there. Whoa.
Whoa. Living on a prayer.
Eating too many pears.
Ooh.
I don't know what to say after that. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And a new follow. Christian Waldrop. Welcome as well. Welcome, everyone. Every friend. Why don't we say every friend? Why do we say everybody? Why don't we?
Well, because not everybody is your friend.
But if you walk into a group of people who are all your friends, why do you say hi everybody? Why don't you just say hi every friend?
I mean, you can.
I think we should start it. It's obviously a thing that we need to do now.
Hello, every friend.
Hello, every friend. I need to turn my light up over here. Come on. Here's my hat. Up close.
Wow.
Oh.
So clean.
That was a close view of my hat. Yep, it's the new one. I had to get a new one. Russell, what's up? Lurking. Hello, old friends. Neko. Hello, every friend.
Every friend.
All right. Everybody doing good? You guys ready for some Fallout Lorecast? What if we called it the Pod Fallout Cast?
What if we didn't?
What if we called it the Lore Fallout Cast? That would make more sense.
The lore.
Right, instead of the Fallout Lore Cast, what if we called it Lore because Fallout Cast?
The Fallout is describing the lore. The lore is describing the Fallout.
What if we called it Cast Fallout Lore?
But the Fallout lore is describing the podcast.
What if we called it
It's the same thing.
Fallout Cast Lore?
Fallout Cast. Is it lore about the podcast? Do we have our own lore?
Are you saying that my ideas are bad?
I would never.
Yeah. Neko's with Lanky on this one. Oh, Lanky.
Lanky.
Oh, that one's not going to leave. That's not going to leave you. What's up, Zero?
No.
Welcome, everybody. Well, do you want to get started, Lanky?
Sure.
Man, we got a lot of notes. This is a lot of notes. This is a lot.
It's a lot of notes, but I think we're gonna be fine. Because most of them are just like we're not gonna stop and talk about every single one of these points. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Well, you have to zip through stuff. So like,
it'll be good.
All right. We'll zip through the stuff that we need to zip through, and then I'll chime in. I'll try to chime in not too often, but we'll zip through
just
it.
enough.
Just enough.
To add a little.
This is Bub.
Hi,
hey,
Bub.
Everyone give Bub some love. Bub love.
Bub lovin'.
Give him some Bub lovin'. Is that what you tell your wife? Hey, baby, I could use some Bub lovin' tonight. And she looks at you and goes, all right. Actually, most wives would go, no. let's not call it that. T-shirt time, Bub love. That's it. That's a t-shirt for him. That's not a t-shirt for me. That's why he needs to start his cooking channel. Bub love loves some cooking. It's your new shirt. Bub lovin', check it and see. I got a fever 103. There you go. That's it right there. Perfect. All right. Well, hey, why don't we start this? Because this is becoming ridiculous very quickly, which, never happens. So, I guess here goes. The show is brought to you by our generous patrons at patreon.com/FalloutLorecast.
Robots Radio presents the Fallout Lorecast.
Welcome to the Fallout Lorecast, a place for the Fallout community to come together to explore the boundaries of our knowledge about the world of Fallout. All right, friends, Wastelanders, Vault Dwellers, it is time for the Fallout Lorecast. Welcome back, everybody. We are on an adventure through New Vegas, basically, the last few weeks. I am your host, Tom, or Robots, and this is my co-host, Lainey, or Neos Pandora. Recently employed Neos Pandora. Recently,
like 3 days ago.
Newly employed, working at a game store. Very cool.
Like a little local retro game store.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's killer. That's awesome.
It is the best. It is the best.
So, congratulations on that. And stream, welcome as well. We are live as usual. It is Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/robotsradio. And we are here with all of our buddies talking to everybody about some Fallout New Vegas lore. And this week we're kind of continuing down the path. We're kind of going down I-15. We've left Good Springs last week. We know that we're the courier because we talked about that 2 weeks ago. And what do we end up getting into? Well, chances are you're not going to go north right away because freaking death claws. So you're going to head south, and pretty quickly you're going to come across some powder gangers. So that's the topic of today's show. There's a lot of detail about the powder gangers. There's a lot going on here. What do you think, Lainey?
I mean, I tried to keep it pretty concise, but there's a lot. Well, okay, so you'll find for some of these things we're going to talk about, there's a lot going on for some of them, and then there's like a whole lot of nothing going on for some of the other ones. So we'll just have to get to
Sure, yeah, but the powder gangers they're not really a major faction, but they definitely are a specific group of, I guess they're a type of raider. You could consider them a raider gang.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, but they've got a unified history. They have some specific individuals. They're not as coordinated or historic as something like the Khans or the new Khans, but they've they've got there's stuff to talk about here. So that's what we're digging into this episode. So Lainey, why don't we go ahead and kick it off? What do we know about? So first of all, who are the Powder Gangers? Where, what's the origin of their group?
Well, we touched on this last episode, but it turns out the origin is, I was a little confused last time, and we discussed this a little bit. We weren't sure if they existed before the prison break.
Right.
Turns out they were formed amongst the prison break, right? So, let's talk about the prison. Let's take it way back. So, some fun little tidbits.
Take it way back.
Take it way back. So, the NCR Correctional Facility is where they're being held, and this place is actually based on a real life facility.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. So it's inspired by this place called the Southern Nevada Correctional Center, which was open on and off from 1978 to 2008. In 2015, they were kind of talking about like local legislation was trying to reopen it, but like for only like political reasons, not for actual necessity reasons. So it didn't go through. So as of right now, it is still closed. But it was originally used for kind of not like petty crimes, but more common crimes like DUIs and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. But I can't imagine in Las Vegas anybody gets pulled over for DUIs.
Yeah, that never happens.
But it makes sense. Like a place like Las Vegas, there's going to be a lot of drunk people getting into things. Right. And so to have a correctional facility for them would make sense.
Right. So it seems, it seems like it makes sense. But then over time, it gets a little bit darker, gets a little bit more serious.
Yeah, it does.
They started holding sex offenders, people with life sentences, anyone who was basically imprisoned and was deemed unable to return to the world for psychological reasons or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they built a psychological facility within it that was meant to help those people. So they weren't just locking them up. They had help. No telling how good that help was, but it was there. So that lasted from 78 to 2000 when it first closed. And at that point, it had all those kinds of prisoners in it. And then in 2006, I think, it reopened for 2 years and held only people under the age of 25, which is interesting. No specification on like exactly the kinds of convicts or anything, but just under the age of 25.
Younger adults. Yeah.
Which also seems like it makes sense for the area.
For somewhere like Las Vegas. Yeah, I guess it can make sense.
Get some young people maybe like going crazy for the first time, Vegas.
Yeah, what happens in Vegas? Well, no, you stay in Vegas because now you're locked up here. So good work.
You got stuck in Vegas.
You got stuck in Vegas. Yeah.
Oh, and not in a fun way. So what's kind of cool is that in 2006, when they reopened, they were the first facility in the entire country, in all of America, to use an electronic tracking system for their inmates, which is really cool. It's a neat little fact that happens to be about the same place that this prison in New Vegas is inspired by. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So in game, the location of the NCR Correctional Facility is the same location as this facility. And there's a few other facilities similar in the real world that I don't know if they're still open or not, but I guess there was some confusion about like, oh, maybe these ones inspired the NCR Correctional Facility, but it's been confirmed that is the Southern Nevada Correctional Center.
Right.
The history in game, though, is different than the real world. So the history of the Southern Nevada Correctional Center is not parallel to what happened pre-war in New Vegas.
Right. They just needed a location to serve as a prison for this gang. And a side note here, last week I talked about Good Springs being further like west and north than I expected. I think I mapped it incorrectly because when I looked up the correctional center, I noticed that it is at the intersection of I-15 and Good Springs Road. And I was like, wait a minute, it's right off of Good Springs Road. That's odd. And if you follow Good Springs Road west, it goes to Good Springs, which is And both of these things are south of Las Vegas, where you would kind of expect them to be based on the map in Fallout New Vegas. So Good Springs actually is in roughly the right location. It's not like Good Springs Road loops around to the north the way that it does in the map, but of New Vegas, but it's close to this correctional facility, which makes sense for the way the map is kind of laid out. So it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. And those two locations are, relatively speaking, in the right place from Las Vegas proper. So I thought that was interesting as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's cool to see where all these things line up with the real world.
Yeah.
But yeah, in game, the prison was originally called the Gene Conservancy, and named after the location of the prison,
where they make the genes.
Not after a person, where they make the genes. You know.
Yeah.
But back in the day, pre-war, it was a low security, all female prison, which is interesting.
Yeah, very different. Very different than this.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the majority of these DUIs and sex offenders were probably male, as opposed to low security female prisoners. But well, there you go.
But that's basically that. There's no more information there. But it's cool. So this is the location that the Powder Gangers met up and founded in, and it was the basis of their gang, I guess you could say, was in the NCRCF.
As I like to call it.
So let's dive into what actually happened there.
Yeah.
So the prisoners at the correctional facility were on a work release program where basically if they stuck around and they maintained the railroad running alongside the interstate, I-15 or the Long 15, they would eventually be freed? ? We would see. You don't really get to find out because they decided to band together. Turns out when you give a bunch of crazy prisoners dynamite and lots of team bonding time, that things don't really go as planned.
Wow.
So, unsurprisingly, it led to the prisoners devising a lovely escape plan, which allowed them to form their own loyalties and to work together as what they called the Powder Gangers and escape, using the dynamite to break through. And you might be wondering, if they're being supervised by the NCR, how did they get out of there? Turns out...
Lainey, how did they get out of there?
So because the NCR was dealing with Caesar's Legion and fighting them, they were slowly allocating people like guards from the correctional facility over to fight. And because they kept pulling people away, there was less and less security. And of course, the prisoners noticed. And so they decided, it seems like a pretty good time to act. That, they had been coming up with this plan, and conveniently, suddenly the security's gone. So they, thanks to their numbers and their dynamite, they wiped out all of the security. They wiped out the warden. The warden dead. They took over the prison.
I can't imagine, like, hey, I got a really good idea here. Let's give all these prisoners dynamite and then reduce the number of security so that, there's not enough to keep track of everybody. And let's let them keep using the dynamite. Like, I can't,
right?
Like, nothing will go wrong. It'll be fine. Like, whose decision was that? And why do they still have a job?
Yeah.
Like, you could, if you're going to have to reduce the numbers, at least take away the dynamite. Right? Like,
yeah, maybe just lock them up for a bit. Be like, okay,
right.
The railroad can wait.
we're gonna make sure that you guys don't have any explosives on you while we have less people being able to watch you, and we're gonna keep you all in a very secure location. How about that? But no.
How about that?
Right.
Yeah. So of course, they succeeded, and it kind of loosened up from there. They were very much bonded together and working together to get out. But once they were out, they all kind of decided what they wanted to do. And a lot of them created their own smaller bands, many of them still considering themselves Powder Gangers, some not. And they left their separate ways. Although a bunch of them decided to stay in the NCR correctional facility, where they now have just taken over. They're, looking out from every lookout. They're snipers. They got all that jazz.
They're playing jazz. They've got jazz. They've got a jazz ensemble. That would be awesome if you walk in there. That would be awesome. And they're like, yeah, they're playing like, Las Vegas, like old timey, jazz. You sneak in, or if you go in as like a friend, because you can go in as a friend, right? And they don't attack you. You come in and they're having like their lunch break, and there's like a few guys just kind of jamming in the corner. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Bethesda.
Yeah, Bethesda. Update. New stuff coming to 76. We need a jazz band playing somewhere.
We need a jazz band inside a prison.
Inside a prison.
That's the key.
Prison jazz. That's a new genre of jazz, by the way.
I'm sure it's good.
I bet it's good, because I mean, you talk about jazz is inspired by the blues, and what's more blues than being stuck in prison? There you go.
You're gonna get some good jazz out of that.
You know what I also think is interesting about the Powder Gangers, just to kind of throw another topic in here while we're talking about them. The idea of using dynamite in the world in such a, I mean, okay, we're in the wasteland at this point. The world has fallen apart, and this group is using dynamite during the post-war era. Right. So it must be something that's easy to manufacture and use. But at the same time, we've got grenades, pulse grenades. There's all sorts of other tech out there that could be used. But yet they're using dynamite like it's the Old West. And I
imagine that they probably are utilizing the better explosives for fighting and survival.
I bet they are. But it's really kind of an interesting thing, because New Vegas is very much a Western, and not just in the location, in the feel of the characters and some of the story bits that play out. It is very inspired by the Western genre of movies and those kinds of things. And, in a Western, you're going to have somebody working on the railroad, and the people working on the railroad are using dynamite in order to blow up the mountains in order to make the tunnels. And, that's very legitimate to that type of story and that type of setting. And the fact that this is, they're able to justify that in, 200 and something years in the future in this wasteland setting is really kind of cool. It's kind of genius in a way. This idea that we've gone back to this world of Westerns, and it's the Wild West all over again, because it's not being settled for the first time. It's being resettled by people trying to retake the wasteland. There's something really cool about that. So I don't know. It makes sense. And it's not something that had really occurred to me. I've talked about Fallout 1 and 2. The people who worked on Fallout New Vegas, a lot of them were involved in Fallout 1 and 2. But there's something about that concept that I don't think I really focused on initially that really clicked with me. This idea that the West was a good place to have this kind of thing because it's a resettling of the West, and it's like a revisiting of a Western, which totally makes sense. So anyway, just a little side topic there.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. And that's pretty much tops off, an explanation of what's going on with the jail and stuff.
The jail and stuff. So what are we going to, we're going to take our mid break coming up and thank our patrons, but what are we going to hit after that? What kind of details are we going to go into?
So there's a whole bunch of little mini gangs now. And I'm exclusively focused on the Powder Gangers, right? So we're going to talk about Joe Cobb's little group at the beginning of Good Springs. We're going to talk about some of the other places. We're going to talk about where the proper founder of the Powder Gangers ended up. Stuff like that.
All right. Well, let's move into the middle of our show, and we will be right back. It's time for that spring reset. I'm taking a look at everything in my closet and figuring out that, oh no, this absolutely needs to go. And it's about time I replace things so that my clothes aren't older than my 15-year-old. Now, you might think that they lasted that long because they were well made, but no, they're in terrible condition. Unlike the new jeans I just got from Quince. Jeans have always been my personal go-to because you can kind of wear them for lots of different things, but maybe they're not your thing. Maybe you're looking for, 100% European linen with insanely soft flow knit activewear fabric. It's definitely getting warmer, and their flow knit activewear is moisture wicking, anti-odor, and soft enough that you'll actually want to wear it every day. So pick out what you want. You can't go wrong because they have prices 50 to 60% less than similar brands. And like I said before, They are high quality. I continue to wear their clothes all the time, and I know that these new jeans are going to last me a lot better than the other things in my wardrobe. And on top of it, they look great. They're so comfortable, and I spent just as much on the jeans that I am now cleaning out of my wardrobe. So if you're looking for something better, just all around better, go check out Quince. So go do it right now. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/falloutlore for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. Go to quince.com/falloutlore for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/falloutlore.
Hello there, old chap. Good to see another of General Atomic's finest, still eager to serve.
This is the part of the show where we get to thank our wonderful, wonderful patrons, all 48 of them. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you to each and every one of you. Everyone from our $1 patrons to Liberty Prime himself, Pie Man, or as I like to call him, Liberty Pie. Thank you so very much. Liberty Pie Man is our top tier Liberty Prime patron, and that is a huge honor that you love the show enough to be helping support us with that kind of a donation, and really appreciate that. But thank you to everyone. Also, thank you to our tier 5 patrons, Justin S. and Robob. You guys are amazing as well, along with all of our other patrons. We really do appreciate it. If you are interested in helping to support the show financially, check out patreon.com/Fallout Lorecast for all the different tiers that you can sign up for. You can get everything starting with tier 1 with ad-free episodes a day early to all the extra benefits, including being able to join us on the show in the future and all sorts of things. So go check that out. Also, another way that you can help support me and or Lainey would be to use your Amazon Prime subs on Twitch, because we stream the show on Twitch. So even if you can't make a live show, if you have Amazon Prime, then you get a free sub every month that you get to choose to send to a creator on Twitch. So you could come to this channel, Robots Radio, or you can come to Neos Pandora's channel and click the little subscribe button and choose the free sub. It doesn't cost you anything. And let's be honest, Jeff Bezos doesn't need the money, so it might as well go somewhere, right? And if it's not us, give it to somebody, because honestly, that money should go somewhere. Give it to one of the creators that you love. That's a really easy way to help support us if you already have Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost you anything else, and it helps financially support the show. Otherwise, telling a friend and leaving a review would be awesome. So those are all the different ways that you can help us out, and we really appreciate it. So thank you again, and thank you especially to our patrons. All right, let's move on with the rest of the show.
If you have any questions about Nuka World, I'd be delighted to answer them.
All right, we are back. It is time for some more discussion about the Powder Gangers, more specifically the individuals and their kind of mini gangs inside the larger gang. I don't know if there's a official what's the word? Like in military, you would have like official names for the different sizes, for everything from a squad to a battalion to like they have different sizes, but I don't know if in a gang how that works. I guess they're factions.
Calling them groups,
factions. Yeah, I don't know, subcategories. I don't think they call them subcategories. Oh, you're part of Joe's subcategory. I'm part of Sam's subcategory. Like, I don't think that's the way they're talking about it. They probably just call them like
they're interesting enough to have factions. I feel like they don't differentiate enough.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's go into it. So what do we have here?
Well, of course, we're going to start with Joe Cobb and this guy. So since, you enter Good Springs, and if you go into the Prospector's Saloon, the first thing you see is Joe Cobb giving everyone a hard time, saying that he's going to burn the whole town down if they don't turn over Ringo. Yeah.
And we talked about this a bit last week, too. Yeah.
Right. And so just to recap that whole scenario, pretty quickly, Ringo he had a caravan. He's a trader. He was going down I-15 and got stopped by a couple of the people who broke from the prison that happens to be right there. And they tried bugging him, and Ringo fought back and escaped. And they are bitter.
Yeah, well, I think he killed 3 of them, if I recall.
Oh, yeah.
He actually killed 3 powder gangers in getting away. Like, 1, that's pretty impressive. Two, you bet they're going to come after you. Like, holy crap.
Also, how unfortunate to have just escaped prison and then get murdered.
Right, yeah. Like, congratulations, you're free. And now you're making bad decisions again, and you're dead.
Yeah,
good job.
It's not great. So Joe Cobb, he comes into town and he wants to find out where Ringo is. And Ringo is hiding in an abandoned gas station in Good Springs. And of course, they don't turn him in. But you get the option to either aid Good Springs and get rid of the powder gangers, or to aid the powder gangers and kill Ringo. And then the next step is to fight the other people in Good Springs and basically kill everyone except Chet. So the guy who runs the general store there is the only one of the people who runs a business in Good Springs that doesn't come out to fight. You can kill the doc. Or, I mean, you can kill Chet if you want to, I guess. But you fight Doc Mitchell, you fight Sonny Smiles, you fight, all the other people there. But you don't fight Chet. And even if you kill everyone else in Good Springs, Chet will continue running the general store, and you can still go in there and buy things.
Gotta keep selling my goods. Yeah, that's hilarious.
But it's pretty funny, too, because while you're doing this, if you decide to side with the powder gangers, there's a part where Joe Cobb even jokes that, like, he would like to be a mayor of a small town like this. It's kind of funny because you can destroy the town, and it kind of implies that he would want to, make his own little home there, which is fun if you're into that, but wouldn't be my choice.
Right.
So yeah, I'm definitely anti-powder gangers. I mean, maybe don't rape people.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically raiders, right? Like, yeah, the whole, like, doing bad things and taking advantage of people is probably not a good thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Although, what do you do if you just escaped prison, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Okay, yeah, you're true. You're right. You're true. You're right. It is kind of a dilemma. I mean, you kind of, like, no one's going to hire you,
Yeah.
But then again, in this world, nobody knows what your past is anyway. So
yeah, you could just lie.
Maybe you show up somewhere and just try to look for work. I don't know.
You join the NCR. You leave the correctional facility.
Yeah, maybe you just join the NCR. Yeah. That would be interesting.
So that pretty much settles it for Joe Cobb's story. He doesn't have much else going on past that. He can survive or not. That's basically it. But yeah, if it were me, I would save the good people of Good Springs and save Ringo. Poor Ringo. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So yeah, next up we have Samuel Cooke's gang at Vault 19.
Sam Cooke, the musician? The singer?
Sam Cooke, the musician. Yeah, I told you. Jazz in New Vegas. We're talking about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of these names that come from historical people, right? Like Samuel Cooke. Like Sam Cooke is a very famous musician, and a singer. But obviously he wasn't a powder ganger in the real world. No. It's kind of unfortunate. Like Ringo, Ringo, Ringo. These are all people who are named after musicians and things. But it's kind of unfortunate because, I like Sam Cooke's music. I think he's awesome, but now I have to think of him as a powder ganger. So that's kind of a bummer. But
But yeah, so Samuel Cooke is pretty interesting. We'll get into why in a second. But if you go to Vault 19, you'll encounter a bunch of escaped convicts, and that's what they're called. They don't have a proper name, but they will interact with you differently depending on your reputation with the powder gangers. And if you help them, you get more positive powder ganger reputation. So it basically implies that they are powder gangers,
right?
Even if you don't know any of their actual story. But if you start digging in, you can find out that Samuel Cooke is actually the person who founded the powder gangers and was in charge of organizing the prison break. So this is a pretty big gangster, I guess you could say.
Yeah, mastermind. You could call him, the mastermind of their escape and organization, basically.
Yeah, so Samuel Cooke decided to basically take I guess his favorite powder gangers and leave for Vault 19 where they're staying, but they're having an issue. There's a big gecko problem.
Oh, those geckos.
It's always the geckos. So
that's my impression. If you're not watching the live stream, you're missing out on my impression of geckos running at you when they see you.
It's really funny. Someone gift this.
Someone needs to gift that and post it all over Twitter. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I'm just going to keep doing this while you talk.
So they're having a gecko infestation, and Samuel Cook wants you to help kill the geckos, but there's another member of the group called Philip Lem who would rather you steal the vault entirely and blow it up. Now, Philip Lem is an interesting guy. He escaped, right, with the powder gangers, and when he was in the prison, he was basically Samuel Cook's right-hand man. He was in charge of actually like delegating tasks and organizing and like basically, talking to the people, right? Samuel Cook was the head of the operation. Philip Lem was the messenger.
Right.
And so they've worked together on all this stuff. They get to Vault 19 and suddenly they're no longer agreeing anymore, to the extent that the people who are within the gang no longer know if Samuel Cook is the real leader or if Philip Lem is.
Right.
Because
like who is the message coming from? Right.
Right.
Just yeah. I'm sure that's confusing in that situation. It also leads to, a definite potential for like mutiny. I mean, they're not on a pirate ship, but this idea that like somebody who has that responsibility and is the person communicating for the leader could very easily change the message or tell people things that are supposed to be coming from the leader, but now aren't. Take advantage of the situation. Right. Yeah.
It's like Lord of the Rings. What's his face?
Wormtongue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy.
An apt question, my liege. Who are you? Gandalf Stormcrow? That's my old Theoden impression.
That was good.
Yeah.
So Philip Lem basically believes that after the escape, they went their separate ways. They're a much smaller group than they were with the full gang at the prison, and they don't have very many resources. And basically, he left the prison and had instant regret because he's realizing now that they don't really have a great chance at survival if they can't figure something out. And instead of focusing on things like getting more resources, Samuel Cook is focused on geckos. Right. So it's a bit of an issue. And you get to choose if you do anything at all, if you want to side with Samuel or Philip, or neither. But it's fun. It's an interesting one. You get to kind of choose the destiny of the Powder Gang.
Yeah.
Which is, it's pretty neat. But
yep,
it's cool.
Yep, yeah. We talked about this a bit on the Vault 19 episode, but that was like 2 years ago at this point. So, if you want more about Vault 19, go back and listen to that episode.
You should. It's actually super interesting. I was like, I really wanted to include things about the Vault, but it just has nothing to do with this episode at all.
Right.
You should go listen to it. It's pretty weird.
It'll kind of piece things together. That's another thing that we should point out as we're going back through New Vegas. A lot of these vaults, there's a lot of these Vault episodes that I already did that have to do with New Vegas and correlate with some of the characters or places or whatever we're talking about in these episodes. So it might be a good time to go back and listen to those if you haven't, or again, if it's been a while. So go check those out.
Yeah, Vault 19. All right, so the next one.
So yeah, what's next? What are we talking about next?
So I'm going to dive back into the NCR Correctional Facility just for a second. I teased this a little bit, but as you know, they took over the facility and they are still there. But it's not just like they're all hanging out and roaming around and there's no structure or anything. They have their own gang going on, So it's still Powder Gangers. This is like the Powder Ganger hub, basically, right?
Right.
And it's led by Eddie, who has taken over the warden's office and basically just put himself in there. He is now in charge, and he hangs out with, he has a couple bodyguards. One in particular is his good pal Scrambler.
Scrambler.
Yeah. That's an interesting fella. He's evil because he has an eye patch.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Things that led you know that somebody's evil. Eye patch, goatee, and probably bald. Those are the three. Like the heroic characters in a show are more likely to have a full head of hair, and characters who are sketchy / villains are more likely to be bald or losing their hair. Did you know that?
I mean, yeah.
Think about it. It's true. It's true.
So yeah, Scrambler. What a fella. I wonder how he got his name. Anyway, this guy.
That's a good question.
Is a scary man. Considered by many to be absolutely psychotic, a true psychopath. He has no regard for life, no empathy, just doing what he wants, and apparently is very impulsive. So impulsive that the other powder gangers will warn you if you are planning to talk to Eddie. They'll be like, hey, watch out for Scrambler. He's having a weird day.
Every day's a weird day for Scrambler. Yeah. You know what I think would be awesome is if his backstory is like Scrambler is his nickname, and you just come to assume that means like his brains are scrambled or something. But in actuality, he just really likes scrambled eggs.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. That's probably what
I was thinking, like, what if he scrambled someone else?
Yeah, he like scrambled people's brains.
Yeah. Maybe he eats brains. Maybe he's like a
brain eater.
I was gonna say zombie. That doesn't make any sense.
You don't want to eat brains. Like prions will get you. That's you don't do that. Not to mention eating people's brains is probably just a bad idea in general. But like you will legitimately die if you eat another human brain. Like,
is that true?
Oh yeah. There's proteins in your brain. Like there's proteins all over your body, but the kinds of proteins in your brain, some of them are called prions, and they will do something similar to a virus in your body. The prions are very good at like hooking together in these shapes that like lock up and multiply, and they will basically lock up your cells in your body, so you'll die. Yeah, they'll get in your brain and basically lock up your brain function.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's super weird.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I probably didn't describe that 100% accurately, but yeah, look up prions and why you shouldn't eat a brain. And that's like, you could cook, like theoretically you could cook like a cow brain and eat it. Like it's fine. You could cook a human brain and eat it too. But like, you don't want to just like a zombie, like eat somebody's brain. Like you would get messed up. Yeah. Not to mention it'd be super gross, but yeah, don't do that.
Good to know.
Yep.
That defeats my plans.
Buddy Bot might like him, Neko. Yeah, that ruins my plans.
I gotta eat something else for dinner now. So that's, I mean, we're talking about Eddie. Eddie's just a dude. He doesn't have a last name. A lot of these characters have like full names. It's funny. The head of the powder gang at the correctional facility doesn't have a last name.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
His name's Ed.
I mean, I don't know if I would eat the brains. That's not really fair.
Oh, no, buddy, but we weren't saying that you would eat the brains. The people in chat were just remembering that time you stole all the brains. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that was great. Thanks. Yeah, we should talk about that more.
No, we shouldn't. We already talked about that. All right, let's move on. What else are we talking about, Lainey, before BuddyBot comes back?
So yeah, we got two groups left, and these ones are very simple. There's not a whole lot going on here. We have Chavez's gang, which isn't even really a gang. The last two are kind of questionable in their like powder gang,
and their associations. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So southwest of the correctional facility, you can find Chavez, who escaped. Right, they've all escaped from the prison, and he's been trying to emulate what he saw at the prison and basically create his own sect of the powder gangers, which isn't cool with the other guys.
Okay, yeah.
So, and it's not like a great scenario either. They are trying to live inside of an overturned train container. And this train container is rough, but it has got graffiti on it. It says things like "fight apathy," all caps, or "don't," ...
or don't, which is
or
ironic, but yeah.
It also says Jimmy is a weasel.
Yeah, Jimmy is a weasel.
So freaking Jimmy.
Freaking Jimmy.
So yeah, but Eddie, good old Eddie from the correctional facility, when he heard about Chavez and his plans, wasn't really happy about it. And if you talk to him about it, if you ask him for work, he'll tell you that he wants them to die, basically, and wants you to go out and end it before it begins. And if you kill Chavez, it gives you positive powder ganger reputation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it makes sense, though. Like, hey, he took some of our men. He's trying to do his own thing. We don't appreciate it. Go off him. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It is kind of funny, though, to like try and affiliate yourself as part of a gang that you
Lainey's having connections.
like have
issues.
Left. Like, I understand maybe like there's like a credibility there. Oh, I am.
You're good. It's just delayed.
Hello.
It's just delayed a little bit.
So,
but yeah, but it makes sense. Like I guess if you're not very creative, and like Neko says in the chat, he's a copycat. Nobody likes a copycat. Yeah. But he's probably not very creative. He's like, I'm going to start my own gang, but he only knows one way to make a gang, and it's the way that he was in, and he's just kind of that's what he's doing. So yeah.
So not a lot going on there. Sounds like they're not really having a great time either. Even if you were to leave Chavez to do his thing, like if Samuel Cook, who started the gang, is in Vault 19 and having a hard time, I can't imagine that Chavez is having a nice time either.
Right.
So that's basically that one. And then the last one we have, it technically isn't part of the Powder Gangers anymore. This is referred to as the Prim Escaped Convicts. They took up in the city or in the town Prim. This group is a little different because they absolutely participated and called themselves Powder Gangers during the prison break. But as soon as they left, they cut ties. Yeah. They were out. They moved on. So this group decided to leave the Powder Gangers, and they still are raiding. They're still raiders, but they went to this town called Prim, where they took the town's deputy hostage. Well, I can't talk. Took the town's deputy hostage. It's too many T's.
Hostage.
Apparently.
Okay.
Hostage.
Deputy hostage.
Which is an interesting tactic because the town is still functioning. But if the deputy can't arrest you, then you're good, I guess. And so they're staying in the Bison Steve Hotel, and they just keep the deputy in the kitchen, basically. And they just leave him stuck in there. And you can decide to fight them and free the deputy, but they are very familiar with dynamite, unsurprisingly, and they will use it to attack you. Yeah. So this is not a good area for if you're just starting out in the game. You probably will die. But yeah, so this leader and the members, none of them have names. No first names, no last names. They're all just escaped convicts, kind of like they were in Vault 19, but those ones still were actual powder gangers, and they had a real, names for leaders and such.
Right.
This game is just, they're a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, I wonder if so I do know in the development of these games, they often divide up the different sections for different writers, right? So I wonder if this section was done by a different writer than some of the other sections, and they decided to associate them with those other sections, but the focus wasn't on like each individual person. There was no need in this writer's version of the story to give all of these people individual names. So they just became escaped convict.
And I mean, it makes sense. There's not a whole lot else going on here. I mean, but it's interesting though, because they definitely have more detail than some of these other groups do in terms of they kidnapped the deputy. They have like a whole operation going. It's kind of interesting that there's more detail on it.
Yeah, it's an early quest too. So I mean, it's basically how you show up at Prim and start things moving along with the group and kind of prove your value. They're very standoffish to you when you first show up. So it's your way of getting back in with them. Or it's one of the ways of you getting back in with them. So I guess it makes sense as a kind of introductory quest. It's not particularly difficult. And if you're good at fighting, you can kind of bust in there, save the deputy very quickly, get out, or there's other solutions to that quest line as well. So Prim is an interesting topic. We might want to cover that next week. What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah, we can cover that next week. also, next week is the 22nd and then the 29th. And
when's the patron episode?
It'll be the last week of the month. So in 2 weeks would be the patron episode. So we'll coordinate that either the Saturday before or after the 29th with the patrons. And if that's something you want to join, then you guys know where to go. Well, that's awesome. Anything else on this, Lainey? Or
my last note here is just that because they aren't powder gangers, what your reputation is, good or bad with the powder gangers, is irrelevant to them. Right. And like you said, what you said kind of also, tied into that, where they are functioning on their own. They have their own opinion of you. They're going to be standoffish when you meet them, but they can warm up to you if you help them, like anyone else in the game. So yeah,
the people of Prim. Yeah. Well, cool, Laney. This was really cool. It's neat to see all the different aspects of how these individuals connect to the main gang and the way that all these things kind of grew out of that one event and affect different places and people that you meet in the wasteland. So cool stuff on that. I feel like there was something else I was going to say, but I also feel like it fell out of my brain.
We could leave the audience with a question. We could be like,
yeah,
if you escaped from prison, what would you do?
I want to know how many people went into I want to know how many people played New Vegas or in general play a Fallout game and spec into some sort of explosive build. I bet it's very low. Ooh. But New Vegas is particularly apt to doing an explosive build because you do come across these powder gangers and they'll drop like 3 pieces of dynamite on each of them when they die. I mean, it's not everybody, but a lot of them will drop dynamite. So you can collect a lot of dynamite. And if you are, and of course, explosives are generally pretty powerful. So if you've spec'd into explosives at the beginning and you walk around throwing dynamite at all the enemies you meet, most of them are going to take a lot of damage from that. So I think it's kind of a fun build to do in New Vegas. So I've been streaming some New Vegas, and speaking of streaming, after the stream, I'm going to be playing some Fallout 76. And so anybody who wants to hang out or join me, or you're welcome to do that. Lainey, you can play too if you want. I don't know if you're busy. But I've been playing some New Vegas and having difficulties getting it to work correctly on my computer and crashing and things. One of the reasons why I'm playing 76 instead of New Vegas again. But man, I would love an update for the new consoles, even just like a kind of a quick remaster, something where they just kind of move it, update the engine a little bit, make sure it runs better on PC than it does. Maybe just update the graphics a little bit. Like, they don't have to do a lot, but it would be nice, So Bethesda, if you're listening, if this is one of those things, I know you got that fat Microsoft money now. Like, if you want to sell a whole bunch of copies of some Fallout real quick, just remaster these games that came out a decade ago, because there's an entire audience of people who have heard lots of good things about them but haven't picked them up. That would probably play them again. I mean, look at like the Mass Effect remaster that's coming out in a month. Like, that's got a ton of hype. And they've ironed out some of the things in the games that people didn't like as much before, like the combat in Mass Effect 1 is better now. But a lot of it is remastering the engine a little bit, making things look a little bit nicer. And I'm going to be jumping into that. I think it's going to be exciting. Even just a Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 in the Fallout 4 engine, or Fallout 76 engine and I don't know how difficult that is to do. But that would be amazing. Fallout Neko in chat, right? It's Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, making those like a 3D game. That would take a lot more development to do that. But I think people would play it. You could put the two together as like one packaged game. I think people would play those things and it would help.
Absolutely would.
Yeah. And we have Fallout 76 and a lot of people play those, but it would also be a really cool holdover to the next mainline Fallout game, which might be a decade away still. So I hope those things are in the works. I don't know anything about if they are, but man, people would play the heck out of those. Anyway, my 2 thoughts on that. Lainey, what do you have going on before we head out? Anything to share?
Well,
other than your new job?
Yeah.
You say you're looking at a bunch of like vintage stuff. They've got a bunch of old Nintendo cartridges and stuff.
So my whole store is basically old games. We have things basically up until, PS4 and Xbox One. Like, we have those games. But that's not the focus. We have a lot of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox.
It's the kind of place you go trade in your games and can buy other ones.
Yeah. You can get store credit. You can get yourself something crazy.
Do they have any non-video game stuff, or like?
Yeah.
They have like board games, or
we have movies. There were records, but we just returned them back to the person who was selling them through the store. There's some other things too. There's
like little figures and like paraphernalia and stuff.
Plenty of figures. Yeah, lots of little trinkety things, collectibles.
Yeah.
We just so apparently like forever ago he was gifted by somebody a giant like trunk, like a chest of old like 70s 80s Transformers figurines.
Oh my god. But it wouldn't be 70s, it would be 80s, but that's awesome.
I think one of them was like 78. It was like something, I don't know.
Transformers wasn't around in they came out in like 85. I don't think so.
Transformers?
I don't think Transformers was one of the mid 80s TV shows that was created in order to sell toys. So it would have been like 85, I think would be the earliest.
It says so
87, maybe 87. That might be it. Yeah,
is when it originally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had a bunch of things, I guess, from when it first started, which is super crazy. So we've been trying to sell them. We're selling the whole box, and so someone's gonna get some crazy deal on all these old toys, which is awesome. Like they individually, one of these could sell for like $300, but we're selling the whole thing for like $600, right?
Wow. So if you guys are interested in any of these, let Lainey know, because she could you could buy it and she could ship it to you or whatever.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out what to do with it. But yeah, so we have a lot of trinkety stuff like that, and then of course we got like a ton of old Nintendo stuff, and we have all the consoles too. Like you can go buy an N64. And we fix up the consoles as well. The guy that owns the shop that I work with, his main job, right? Like I run things in the shop and he fixes things the whole time. And so while I'm in there, we just hear like a GameCube will start up, and then a PlayStation 3 will start up. Like whatever, like he's just, testing all of them. Or like, suddenly there'll be like some Donkey Kong playing and you're like, what's going on?
What's going on? Yeah.
There's
playing games.
An arcade thingy.
Cabinet?
What's that called? Cabinet. Yeah, we have one. It has Mrs. Pac-Man, 2 different Donkey Kongs, Galaga, and then something else on it. And it's really fun, right? All you gotta do, put a little quarter in, you can come play some games. So yesterday, after I finished, cleaning up and all that, I got to play some Pac-Man. So it's been fun. It's a really fun place to work, and it's cool to like work in a space that literally like you tons of things about all the stuff that's in there, right? And I'm learning lots of new things about stuff that was out before I was born.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, very, very cool. Enjoy it. Have a good time working that job. And if you see anything really, really cool, let me know, or let all of us know.
I had to organize every single game in the whole store alphabetically, and so I had to go through all of them, right? And I was going through the PlayStation 2 games, and that was like one of the first consoles I ever played on, right, when I was a kid. And just the sheer number of games that I found that I forgot existed, that I remember playing as a kid, that I loved, just the whole day was like instant serotonin hits.
Candy store, yeah.
Yeah. It was so fun. It makes me want to go back and play a lot of those. Also, he mentioned like a year ago when I first talked to this guy, he was like, if you ever want to come in the store and use any of these games and stream from them, you can. So
that's awesome.
You might get some interesting streams in the future.
Yeah. I wonder if you could do like streams from in the store, like that kind of thing. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Well, awesome. I'll definitely follow Lainey's channel, Neos Pandora, to check that out. I'm going to do a little shout out Neos Pandora in chat. There you guys go. And let's see, what do I have going on? I've got all the normal stuff I've going on. The Mass Effect Lorecast on Sunday nights is rocking. People have been sending all sorts of positive reviews. Everybody's loving it. And so if you are into Mass Effect or going to be picking up the remaster, the Legendary Edition, then you might want to check that out. It is a little spoilery, although we're talking mostly about backstory stuff. So just be warned, anything called a Lorecast is going to be, filling in some of the details about the world. So maybe a little bit of spoilers, But that's what we got going on. Also, the Rocket Club has been rocking as well. Our shows on the Rocket Club are doing amazing stuff. The content they're making is awesome. They're getting lots of downloads. So if you're interested in starting a podcast, then come join us. We've got 10 people in the group so far, and I'm happy to take on more. I will adjust my schedule accordingly in order to fit more people into the group, because we're having such a good time, and it really is nice to help people with all the knowledge that I have, start off on the right foot with their shows, or help grow a show that's having a hard time. So come check that out. robotsradio.net/rocket-club is the place to go. If you just go to robotsradio.net, you'll find the link for that on the top of the page. And that's what I got going on. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Don't go anywhere if you're on the stream, because I will be coming back in just a few minutes to play Fallout 76. I got to switch the stream over and stuff, but it won't be very long. And Lainey, have a good rest of your day. Everybody else, we'll see you later. Thanks for being here. Bye, everyone. To plug into everything else we're doing, check out robotsradio.net. Also, look up the Robots Radio YouTube for videos about Fallout and other things. And check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/robotsradio.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.